Good morning, Mojave fans. We are live this morning with Megan McNutt of Maslow Creative. Very excited to have Megan on with us. In addition to all the other areas she's an expert in, she has worked with us in various capacities on Google My Business, which is now Google Business Profiles. That's been a tough transition for me to make, hasn't it, Megan? I keep wanting to call it the latter or the former.
Too, so I get it.
But Megan, thank you very much for being on board this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ryan, for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit about your background. I know why we should listen to you, but some of our followers may not. So please share your background a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the world of digital marketing for about 8 years now, specifically search engine optimization. I've worked with a number of different businesses in different niches, but everybody could use SEO. Every business can profit from search engine optimization, specifically local SEO, which is where I've been specializing for the past 2 years. Since COVID started, I realized there was a larger need for more local SEO. So I was able to roll that out in our business and help a lot of local businesses as well.
Well, perfect. No, and like I mentioned, we worked together on the Google Business Profile side for a little while now, and so if you're good with it, let's jump right into it. So start off, explain to us what Google Business Profile is, and as I alluded to earlier incorrectly, but some of what it used to be that's transitioned into Google Business Profiles.
Yeah, so Google has rolled out, and it's almost like a social media platform on Google, for business owners specifically. And it gives business owners a platform. So if they don't have a super robust website or other, abilities to market themselves digitally, it gives them a platform that has all of their information, and it gives that authority when it's on Google. And so it even gives business owners an extra little boost over some of the other social media platforms out there. Um, so super beneficial for business owners, and then you can do everything from leave reviews for business owners to find out more about offerings they have. Check out what their facility looks like, what their store looks like through their photos, and it really does carry a lot of weight.
No, and that's what we've spoken about quite a bit is the ability to have that presence, because having a website is very important, and you alluded to the SEO side of it. Having a website is very important for your business, but also showing that you are a local company, right? A lot of companies, and I know this is very true of Reno, where we are. That Reno is very much a tight-knit business community, and so the local community wants to know that you actually have a presence there, that local people are giving you reviews. So as we're talking about cleaning and restoration businesses specifically, having that presence gives an extra level of credibility, because they can then see what others in the community are saying about your business. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, and so obviously very beneficial. What are some of the things that, as we're considering setting up a Google Business Profile, what are some of the considerations we need to keep in mind?
So making sure you're representing your business correctly. Make sure everything is exactly the same throughout every single platform, from social media to your website, phone, name, address. How you're showing your business information is huge. Uh, Google is has so much information about us and about our businesses that they know what the correct phone number is, and so they will even add certain suggestions. And so just making sure that all the information is correct that you have on your platform is huge. And the more you interact with it, the more credibility you will get from Google. Like, this is a reliable business. They are trusted. reviews are huge in that way as well. Just finding out a little more about a business, how they interact with our clients, how they respond to any negative or 1-star reviews is really really important. Um, so yeah, just continuing to accurate on there and make sure that you're sorry. Looks like my camera just shut off. Sorry about that, Ryan.
That's okay. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. So yeah, just making sure that all of your information is accurate, so your potential customers can find you easily. They know this is the correct location to drive to, and you're not wasting anybody's time.
Okay. And that's one of the things that you've taught me too. So talking about making sure all of your information is accurate, but it's also making sure you continuously update it, right? So it's not necessarily a set it and forget it system. Walk us through that a little bit. Okay, so I'm a business owner. I've learned that Google Business Profile is extremely important for my business and my local standing. So I've taken the time on a Friday evening when that's the only time I have to set this thing up. And now I get busy again. But at what frequency should I be managing my Google Business Profile?
So I always like to recommend at least 1 time a week. Going through, making sure you didn't miss any reviews, keeping accurate photos up to date. If you get a new team member, making sure they're represented. If you're able to post an offer or just a little update about your business, because the more you interact with it, you really are rewarded by this is a credible business. And so 1 time a week is if you have the time. I know it can be a lot. I remember the first time I saw the dashboard, I was like, oh man, this is cool, but I could see it being a little confusing. And after years and years and years of interacting with it, it seems it's so natural now. But for a business owner, that it can be a little daunting. So just take 10 minutes, interact with it. See, you can learn a lot about your business, about the calls that are coming in. What people like about it. They're giving feedback, and Google's giving you a lot of the feedback in these insights. Specifically how people are finding you, what keywords they're looking for, and how they're connecting with your business. So it can give you a lot of that feedback, and it's almost like it's a reward. I'm seeing this and like, yes, my hard work is paying off, and I can see that with more calls coming in, or more people driving to my business. And so yeah, once a week is good practice. I would, at the very minimum, once a month, because you do, and it's Google. It's the most powerful search engine in the world, and having a presence, an accurate presence on there is key for your business. So.
Okay. No, perfect. And that's, I know sometimes as business owners, small business owners especially, we can find it very difficult to even carve out 10 minutes to do something like this. But as we're looking at it, right, like as small businesses, we need to have an overall marketing plan, because if we're not marketing, if we're not driving customers into our funnel, then we can go, it's a very cyclical business, right? You may spend all of January marketing hard, and then all of February you may be producing all of that work, especially if you're a smaller owner operator, or one technician shop. And then March comes around and you're like, well, shoot, I don't have any business because I've finished it all up, but I haven't been able to go out and market and get any more clients. So a tool like this, as long as you're spending that time on a regular basis, will begin to show dividends and start filling in those gaps from when you're spending all of your time producing and none of your time marketing. At least you'll have something that will allow the pipeline to come in.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you were mentioning that interaction is key. We talked about the at least once a week. What are, in Google's mind, what is an interaction?
So it could be anything as small as responding to a review, just a little simple "thank you so much," or responding, to a negative review, adding a new photo, adding an update about your business. similar to other social media platforms, Google allows you to do posts and offers, and so a new way to interact with potential customers. So little changes like that, just showing, hey, to your clients, to Google, I'm still here, I'm still relevant, credible, giving you accurate information. So
Okay. And that's so you mentioned that you can do posts, so and that is considered an interaction by Google. So
mhm.
say we already have a program for Facebook or Instagram, or maybe even LinkedIn, where we're posting semi regularly on those platforms. Can we essentially take those same posts and use them on Google as well for those interactions?
Yes, yes, great question, Ryan. You can use the same copy. There are a few limitations that Google has set up. For example, I had a client who continuously kept adding their email address and phone number into their post and was wondering why they kept getting rejected. This is information that Google doesn't want on there. They do have buttons that you can incorporate, in the post as well. Call now for more information, that kind of thing. But there are more restrictions. They're a little stricter than, say, Facebook or Instagram in that regard.
Okay. So, and as long as maybe you tweak the copy a little bit, but for the most part, you can use the same assets from those platforms on Google, and it counts. So that's kind of an easy one to get your at least one interaction a week.
Absolutely, yeah. Take from your Facebook page.
Perfect. Yeah. When all else fails.
Yep.
So you also said responding to reviews, and I've got a couple of questions in regard to that. But one, how important are reviews when it comes to not only business but Google business profiles?
I mean, I tell my clients, like, I'm managing the backside, but it's up to you to ask for reviews and go out and request these because they are huge. It's it is a large portion of how you are going to get to the top of the local search is through reviews, through past clients giving their feedback, using specific keywords. If I'm talking to someone who has a residential cleaning business, and they're going to want to have reviews that speak to that service, or maybe products that they use, to help to help the Google search engine when they are when someone else is searching for a specific service on or a business on Google, and so it just helps to connect the business or the past happy customer with a new customer who's looking for that feedback. Oh, I need someone near me. Those kind of keywords really pop out and resonate, and so if you have amazing reviews and they include those certain keywords, you're killing it on Google for sure. So
Okay.
reviews are very important.
And so with that, what are some of the ways that we can ask for those reviews, some of the placement, and some of the ones that come to my mind just to kind of prime the pump. But obviously, if we invoice our clients, then we're going to want to include a link to our review in that. The easiest way to get a review is right after the service is completed. You're top of mind. Um, if you do any kind of follow-up email or email campaign, you're going to want to at least include that link in at least one of those. Um, what other ways have you seen that people have asked for reviews?
Yeah, so after they're leaving, they have maybe a card. If you have any feedback for us. They have a QR code, scan it, go right to the review portal. So emails are huge. That's how, my business has gotten a lot of our positive reviews. It's just a nice reach out, because it's usually not top of mind for a client. They're thrilled with the work you've done, but they're not thinking in that mindset. So just a quick reminder, email, follow up. But yeah, especially after you've done an amazing job for them, that's when they're most inclined to leave you some positive feedback. So it really depends for different businesses. I like the personal reach out.
Mhm.
I because I know the work that I've just done for them, and it's just it's more personal, especially from the digital marketing side. For businesses that see a lot of foot traffic, having some representation in their store, in their shop. You know, if you are happy, leave us some love kind of thing. So it really depends on your business model, but I like the personal email reach out, or the little, thank you for using this card, here's a QR code. Make it as easy as possible, because don't really like they want to give positive feedback, but they don't want to have to work for it. So as
Right.
easy as possible.
Remove as many barriers as you can. Oh, that makes sense. Now, and that made me think of another question. So, I know sometimes people will, you'll ask for the review, and they'll say absolutely, and they'll hop on and they'll click that 5-star and submit, and that's it. They won't leave, a text review or a review of your service necessarily. Do those weight differently when you're looking at where Google places you?
Absolutely. Definitely having, some content incorporated with that 5-star, they did, in our case, if they helped or created a beautiful website for us, having that website keyword within the review is a really, it's huge. It carries a lot of weight. And so not having it, it really is a bummer, but at the same time, I'm just happy to get those 5 stars. So thank them anyway. And then, better luck, better luck next time.
Yeah. And that's, is there a way that you've seen people or businesses word their ask for a review that has been more successful than others?
Um, Not super specifically. We want to hear your feedback. Usually, we want to hear a little more than just 5 stars, and we did great. But no, not actually, not recently. I haven't seen a super creative way on asking for more robust review.
Okay. And I would imagine it's all in the wording of how you request, right? So if you ask, hey, can you leave us a review? That's a very different ask than, hey, would you mind writing a review for us, or would you mind saying what you loved about our service, or those kinds of things. Then that leads people to be thinking more of, okay, I'm going to be typing something versus I just want to click. And it's not perfect, right? But it probably leads them a little bit better down that road.
Yeah, it's giving them a little more direction. Yeah,
Right.
I like that one, Ryan. It's good.
Feel free to use it. That one's free for you.
Thank
Uh,
you.
but so the other thing on reviews that I've always been curious, as service-based businesses, especially when we have employees and equipment and exterior things that we rely on, right? External things that we rely on. We're going to get bad reviews. At some point, we're going to do something that a customer deems, whether correctly or incorrectly, deems in a negative way, right? So how do we respond to somebody who's, say I've got a carpet cleaning company, right? And somebody gets on there and goes, you know what, Ryan's carpet cleaning company did a horrible job, not happy with them whatsoever. How do we respond?
So there's a few different, there's like a structure to an apology, which is ultimately what you're going to want to do. You want to show new or future clients that you were respectful in this regard. At first I like to, when I'm responding to a negative review, I contact the business owner, I find out what went down, why this happened, and how it could be fixed.
Mhm.
So there's, an apology, a reinforcement of your good business practices. Like, we strive to be perfect for our customers. Sometimes, things slip through the cracks. This can happen. And then you try to make it right, whatever you can do. And from my side, it's a little difficult to offer, a free carpet cleaning, but, working with the business owner to, what are you willing to, how are you willing to fix this? A lot of businesses want to take it offline so that they don't, aren't taken advantage by, future 1-star complainers. Like, oh, I saw you got, you left that guy, gave that guy a, free carpet cleaning. Where's my, free carpet cleaning? So usually like, hey, please, contact us. We want to make this right. And then they can do, whatever they feel is necessary on their side to make it right. But you show you are apologetic, you show that this is not how your business normally operates, and then you show you are ready to fix it and you want to keep them as a customer, and you reinforce that as well at the end. Like, we hope we can earn back your respect, your business, and then yeah, that's the best way to approach a 1-star review, for sure. Leaving it completely, blank and not responding is quite possibly the worst thing you can do, or actually potentially doing an aggressive response where you don't take any of the blame. You're not apologetic, and I've seen a few of these out there, and you just take a breath, before you respond, because
Right.
I get it. This person is kind of trying, they're disrespecting your business, and you feel it personally. But it's like, take a breath and respond with how you would want, you want your future clients or customers to be seen, be seen by them.
And that makes a lot of sense. And so with that, if you've responded to the review, you've taken it offline, you've done what you can to renew and restore that relationship, and let's say you've met their expectations, exceeded their expectations, they're happy. Is it appropriate for you to ask them to update their review?
Absolutely. If they have a new, a view of your business, yes, yes. I would not recommend doing it on the platform. There are some practices Google will not allow, so you might get little dinged for that.
Okay. So just in your, most of Mojave Supply's clients are going to be service-based businesses, or all of them are service-based businesses. So in order to fix anything, we'll have to be standing in front of the customer. So you're saying that at that point, then it might be appropriate to ask them if they'll update their review. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously, if they don't want to, what's done is done, and thank them for their business and hope that, maybe they'll change their mind.
Right. And you can't win them all, but as long as you're showing future customers that you're willing to do what you can to make it right, and that you're not arguing on the platform. That's probably the biggest one, right? I've seen those reviews before where somebody leaves a negative review and then the business owner starts arguing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whether you're right or not is not in question. What's in question is you've got an unhappy customer for whatever reason, uh,
Yeah,
perceived or reality, and have to show all of your future customers that, hey, we want to make sure we're making this right even if we can't. So
that's that's who the review is for. Like, I never write a 1-star, response back to a negative review for, that customer. It's for them, but it's also for everybody else, for
right.
the potential future customers who want to see how you respond to negative feedback.
Okay. No, and that makes a lot of sense. And then you were telling me, so a lot of this is hinging on reviews, but like you've said before and we've talked about before, they're so important. So these questions keep coming up. With reviews, is there kind of a minimum number you want to get to as quickly as possible?
So it's a lot based on your competitors. Like, if you have your eyes set on, the biggest, commercial carpet cleaning, and you're like, I want to beat that guy on Google. How many reviews does he have? Because that's who you're competing against. Every industry is totally different. I have some clients who struggle to get the 5 that they have, and then I have some who have 100 and they see a new one every day, and it's really based on the industry and how many customers you do see come through your door or have contact you.
Okay. And there's no limit. So let's say we've been in business for several years, but this hasn't been a practice that we've implemented on a regular basis, or maybe even at all up to this point. Can we go back to existing and old customers and just reconnect with them and try and get a review that way?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Old customers will probably just remember, all the great work that you did for them, and they're willing to as well. So, yeah, if there's, a great way to reach out if you're doing some sort of offer and you want to do like an e-blast, and just, send down email marketing campaign to all of your past customers, say 1,000 or whatever, and just, hey, if you love the work that we did do for you, we'd love to hear, your feedback. Even if they're an older client, it's definitely worth the ask.
Okay. But it's probably beneficial to be somewhat careful with how many people you ask at one time, right? So I would imagine as a consumer, if I'm looking at your business profile and you have 60 reviews that all came in on January 31st, like something's going to look off to me. Am I thinking correctly in that?
So good thinking, but it doesn't look off to usually the customers. It looks off to Google, and so they
Okay.
will like see a maximum amount come in, and they'll be like, something a little fishy is going on. And then to your point, so yeah, spreading the request for reviews out, so it doesn't look super suspicious, even though they could be all credible reviews. Just yes, spreading them out. Ask two a week or something like that. And then making sure you're not sending a please, we want to hear your feedback to somebody who had a negative experience. And so if you're able, to target that, marketing campaign to the happy customers, then that would be ideal.
Right. No, that makes sense. And so I would imagine do you have data on that you guys keep just on what your conversion rate is, right? So you send out so many emails, so many requests. How many of those people actually convert into a review?
Oh gosh. So because I do more of a very custom, I guess, ask. I'm specifically, hey, it was awesome working with you. Give specifics. They are more likely to. They're like, oh, Megan's not just sending this out to 50 people she's worked with. She really wants me to leave her a review. So I would say out of the 10 people I asked, 8 of them are within an hour have left me some sort of review. So
Okay.
definitely making it a little more personalized has benefited us.
Okay. So set a little bit of time aside on a Monday or a Friday and just pick maybe 3 to 5 clients a week, especially if we're going back into historical clients.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Pick 3 to 5 a week, send them out very personalized messages asking for the review, and you'll probably see you'll see a good return on that time investment. And then two, making sure that you're asking all of your current customers and clients too, once you finish up a job,
Mm-hmm.
ask them as well. So now you're getting into that 3 to 5, maybe a week, and that's probably a really good spot to be in.
Yeah, being proactive, especially having a system where you finish up a job, the next day even, or even a few hours after the job, and you're like, hey, just love to hear your feedback. This project went like amazingly. Your website looks great, or your presence on Google has grown by certain percentage. Yeah, being very proactive with it is super important. I don't like to go too far back. If I worked with this client 2+ years ago, I probably won't reach out for a review unless they contacted me recently. And but yeah, a year or so ago, I would absolutely reach out to the client.
Okay. And it serves two purposes, right? One, you're going back asking for the review. It's a touch point. But two, as you're going through your list, you may run across customers that you forgot you had at one point, and it gives you an opportunity, separate of anything we're talking about today, just to reach back out to them, reconnect, and see if they're ready for service again. So.
Absolutely, remind them you're there.
Right, which is key. Well, good. Anything else about Google Business Profiles that we should know just off the top?
Um, Keep it updated, accurate. Keep adding photos. If you add one photo a week, that you'll start to really see the benefit of that. Yeah, just
Okay.
keep it top of mind because it is quite possibly one of the most powerful marketing tools out there.
Okay. Perfect. And I would imagine we want those to be local technician or owner taken photos, not stock photos, not anything like that, and so much as we can avoid. So let's see if I've been a good student today. Yeah, I'll recap everything that we've talked about, and then I want you to just talk a little bit about your company, Maslow Creative, what you can offer customers who, like we talked about earlier, may be extremely busy and just go, "This is great information, but I don't have time." But so let's see what I learned. So first and foremost, if you don't have a Google Business Profile, build a Google Business Profile.
Yeah.
Secondly, at least interact with it in a meaningful way that we spoke about earlier, at least once a week. But really, as often as you can, you're not going to get penalized, and it's actually going to help you out by interacting with it more. Post good pictures of your work or your team or an event you're a part of, just like you would on any other social media platform. And you could even take the content that you've used on other social media with certain rules kept in mind and use it on Google Business Profile. And then the biggest thing that you can do is ask for and properly manage your reviews that are coming in, and get in the habit of doing that consistently. So whether you're including the link on your invoicing, whether you're sending out post job, post work emails, having cards made up that can be left so that with a QR code so that the client can go directly to your page. Those are all things that are going to be very key to having a successful Google Business Profile.
Ryan, you're excellent student. That was all correct. Yes.
Well, perfect. So I'm a business owner and I don't have any time for this. I've heard what you said, I see the value, but I don't have any time. How can Maslow help me?
Absolutely. So Maslow takes that management off your plate so you can focus on your business and do what you do best, and keep that presence accurate and credible. There's some communicating with the business owner, but we make it easy. We know how to manage. We know what Google likes to see on there. We know the rules and guidelines that they've put in place, and so we're able to help our business, our clients, maneuver through these things and just keep a good, credible business online. And sorry, my camera keeps turning off.
That's okay.
Must be my internet connection. So yeah, we just keep your the face of your business digitally accurate, professional, and so you don't have to think about it. It's just another thing that as a business owner, you have a lot on your plate. You wear a lot of different hats, and so it's like, okay, if I don't have to think about this one thing, we'll take it over for you, and we'll do it in a way that it's done by experts who know this platform, have been working with this platform for over 8 years, and know what Google wants to see, and can optimize it beyond what a business owner can do with certain tools. Back to the photos. There is a whole other level of adding photos to Google Business Profile that a lot of our clients maybe don't know how to do, and you can just take that on for them. For example, geotagging the location of where this photo was taken is huge. It will increase your presence on Google Maps like you can't even believe. Um,
Really?
yeah, and so adding that, and then adding alt text and meta descriptions, just giving more information about this photo, and so it just again gives your business and your Google Business Profile account even more clout. So
Okay.
that's what we help our clients do. Take some of that, burden, and just do it in a way that they, they don't need to, go to a class and re-educate themselves on what Google's looking for. We'll do it for them.
No, and I'm a huge fan of performing all the functions that you really enjoy and know how to perform, but outsourcing everything else. And so this is one of those areas that, when we're talking about technology, there's so many of us in the cleaning industry that got into it because we're hard workers and we're detail oriented and we know how to make the customer happy. But all of the other business functions, and as business increasingly becomes more and more digital,
Mm-hmm.
we're losing, we're kind of losing ourselves in what should be done and how it should be done. And so those businesses that are capitalizing on it are the ones that are rising to the top and getting the new customers, and those are the businesses that are top of mind when a client goes and searches. And that's probably the biggest tool right there is a Google search. When you hop on Google, and I know we just did it yesterday with a family dinner, right? So we wanted to know where to eat, where we were. hopped on there, and we never left the Google managed infrastructure. It was all right there, and we selected what we wanted from there. So regardless of the industry that you're in, but especially when you're talking about a service-based industry like ours, a Google business profile is huge. Well, perfect. Megan, thank you so much for taking the time today. I've really enjoyed our chat. And I know Maslow does so many other things than just managing Google business profiles. So maybe we can get you back on another show down the road and we can talk about SEO and websites and all of the other functions that you can perform, and all of the other functions that our customers and clients should be thinking about as they look to grow and scale their business.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ryan, for having me. This is awesome, and I hope everybody who works with Mojave Supply will really enjoy this content and this information and able to use it to help improve their presence on Google.
That is the goal. We want them to grow. So thank you very much.
Thank you.